What are you doing?
Back to my room.
I just want to have a conversation with you, ma'am. Now, I'm guessing you know it's not legal.
I didn't go in no truck.
Y'all never do.
What are you doing? Hey! What are you doing? Get in there! Hey, I have my daughter in the room.
Well, stop crying. Now, I know you know I'm about to come back there. A girl like you shouldn't mind. Maybe we could even be friends. Take off them dirty shoes. Now the rest. Don't worry about that. You hear me? Hey, old boy, got us some new entertainment. Why don't you come on out and I'll show you. Same spot. Y'all can both come. We're gonna have us some company. Fucking kidding me? Don't you know not to play with guns, girl, huh? Put it down!
Somewhere on the back roads of the American South, a young mother named Maben carries her small daughter Annalee from one town to the next, with nothing to her name but the clothes on her back and a promise she cannot keep. She has no home, no husband beside her, no car of her own, and no plan beyond the next mile of road in the next quiet corner where a child can sleep without being seen. Their days are stitched together from stolen bread, borrowed water, and long stretches of highway that never seem to end. And although Annalee has never known what a real house feels like or what her father's voice sounds like, Maben keeps whispering the same soft lie into her ear that the good days are coming, that Mississippi is waiting for them, that Jason will be there when they arrive. With the very last of her money, Maben rents a small room in a roadside motel so that Annalee can finally sleep on something that resembles a real bed. But when she counts the bills left in her hand and looks out at the rows of parked trucks glowing under the yellow lot lights, she understands that morning is going to arrive with nothing to feed her daughter. Believing there's only one desperate way left to keep Annalee alive, she steps out into the night, but the lot is quieter than she expected, and the trucks sit empty. A patrol car rolls up instead. The officer already knows what he thinks he is looking at, and when Maben cannot find the words to defend herself, he grabs her arm and forces her into the back seat. He drives her out to a stretch of empty road beneath an overpass, somewhere no one will hear a thing, and Maben begs him to let her go, telling him, "My daughter is alone," telling him she has no one else in the world. The officer smiles. He tells her he will let her go, but only after she gives him what he thinks she came out to the trucks to give. When it is over, he does not let her dress. He picks up his radio and calls his friends. He tells them he has a girl and they should come quickly, because he has plans. In that moment, Maben understands exactly what is waiting for her, and when the officer steps outside the car for a moment, she reaches for his gun. He turns and sees the weapon shaking in her hand. He tells her she has just pointed a gun at a police officer and that she is going straight to jail now. She pulls the trigger before he can finish the sentence. Back at the motel, Annalee wakes up in a room she does not recognize and cries because her mother is gone and the door will not open. When Maben finally returns, she pulls her daughter into her arms and lets herself break for the first time in years. Elsewhere on the other side of the state line, a man named Russell Gaines walks out of a Mississippi prison after 7 long years of paying for one drunken night that ended a life. The accident has not left him for a single day of that sentence, and even now, standing under an open sky as a free man for the first time, Russell can still see the moment on repeat behind his eyes. A ghost is not a thing that stays where you leave it, and is walks with him all the way home. As Russell makes his way back through his small hometown, 2 men are already waiting for him on the sidewalk. One of them is Larry, the father of the man who died on that road 7 years ago, and Larry has spent every day of Russell's incarceration counting down to this moment. He knocks Russell to the ground and beats him without a single word of warning, and Russell does not raise a hand to stop him. He understands the shape of the older man's pain. He believes he has it coming. When the beating is finally over, Russell drags himself the rest of the way home to his father Mitchell, the quiet, steady man who kept the porch light on through every year of the sentence.
This here's Consuelo. That's me, ho. Speaking of eyes, what happened here?
The boys on the inside, I suppose.
Come on, you look like you'd do something to eat. Come here.
With a bruised face and hands that will not stop shaking, Russell finally lets himself speak the things he has carried alone for 7 years, how the memories will not leave him, how sleep will not come, how he feels as though he has done something no God is willing to forgive. Mitchell listens without flinching and tells him that a man who did not mean the harm he caused still has to find a way to live with it, and that maybe what Russell needs now is to spend some time out at the old empty house on the property, alone, until the noise inside him settles. Before Russell leaves, Mitchell presses an old hunting rifle into his hands so his son will not go hungry out there.
You ever think about that moment? I can't carry my son no more. I'll be okay.
Russell stops at a local bar on the way out, but the noise of the crowd claws at something raw inside him and he cannot stay. He gets back into his car and drives until the road blurs, then pulls over on a dark shoulder and lets the tears he has been swallowing for 7 years finally come out of him. That is when a patrol car pulls up behind him. The officer who steps out is a familiar face to Boyd, a childhood friend who never stopped being one. They talk for a while under the highway lights until Boyd notices the rifle inside the car and asks if Russell has a license for it. Russell tells him it is only an old hunting piece. Boyd tells him he shouldn't be carrying it at all, but this time he is only giving him a warning. Meanwhile, Maben and Annalee finally reach Mississippi, and although the city Maben has been chasing offers her no husband and no home, it does offer a small shelter for women with nowhere else to go. The manager tells her there is no work at the shelter itself, but that the cafe next door needs a dishwasher, and for the first time in a long time, Maben has a job. Across town, Larry has not stopped waiting. He circles Mitchell's house looking for Russell, and when Russell does not appear, something inside him snaps, and he takes his rage out on the front door. Back at the shelter, Maben works long shifts and pours every quiet hour into her daughter. But one evening, she returns to their tiny room and feels immediately that someone has been going through her things. She has kept the dead officer's gun hidden with her ever since that night, and now the gun is gone. She searches the entire building until she slips into the manager's office and finds the weapon exactly where she feared it would be. She takes it back, wakes Annalee, and gets them both out of the building before the manager can pick up a phone. Running down the roadside with a child on her hip and a stolen pistol in her waistband, Maben sees a set of headlights turn onto the street and recognizes the shape of a familiar car. She lifts the gun and forces her way into the passenger seat of Russell's vehicle, telling him to drive her as far away as he can. Russell does not argue. He does not reach for the weapon. He simply drives, and after a long stretch of silence, he pulls the car over on a quiet shoulder and gently takes the gun from her hand as though it had never been raised against him. He tells her she does not need to point a gun at him, that if she needs help, he will help her, but first she has to tell him who she is and where a police-issue firearm came from. And so, with nothing else left to protect, Maben tells him everything.
I tried to fix all this.
She tells him about the wandering and the hunger and the small motel room where she left her daughter alone. She tells him her husband Jason has been dead for 7 years and that she has never once said those words out loud to Annalee. And then she tells him about the officer beneath the bridge, and Russell sits in that silence and finds that he believes every word of it.
So I stole his gun and I shot him.
You don't look like a killer to me. What's your name? Don't even need her. I'll take the bed. Maben.
Elsewhere, Larry drives out to see the ex-wife who once loved him and the surviving son he still calls his own. The drinking took his family from him long before Russell ever walked out of prison, but Larry cannot see that. In his mind, every loss in his life traces back to the night his boy died on that road. He asks her to take him back. She tells him gently and firmly that she will not.
You hear that, boy? Don't ever say I didn't fucking...
The next morning, Russell brings Maben and Annalee to Mitchell's property and asks his father if the three of them can stay. Mitchell does not ask many questions. He is a man who understands that some people arrive at your door already carrying more than they can hold, and he tells them the guest house next door is theirs for as long as they need it. Annalee sees a real bed and a real roof and a real front door, and she lights up in a way Maben has not seen in years. Watching them from the kitchen window, Russell feels something loosen in his chest for the first time since the accident. Perhaps, he thinks, if he can do one good thing, the ghost might finally let him sleep.
I'll try and do right by you. I love you more than anything.
Mitchell grows fond of the child. He takes her fishing. Meanwhile, Larry shows up drunk at his surviving son's ball game, and his ex-wife tries to keep him away from the field. He walks up to the boy anyway and tells him he wants him to come with him so they can talk. The boy takes one look at his father and refuses, and something in Larry breaks all over again. He starts smashing whatever he can reach until the police arrive and take him away.
Don't fucking listen to her.
The next morning, released back into a world that no longer wants him, Larry drives to his son's grave and weeps like a man who has finally understood there is nothing waiting for him on the other side of his rage. Back at the property, in the slow quiet of days spent under the same roof, Maben and Russell begin to see each other clearly. One afternoon, she asks him gently why he never lets himself smile, what he is punishing himself for. And so Russell finally says it. He tells her about the night 7 years ago when a bad heartbreak turned into too many drinks and a car driven far too fast down a dark road. He tells her about the vehicle parked on the shoulder with its lights off and the couple standing beside it in the dark. He tells her he did not see them in time. He tells her the man died at the scene and that he has carried that man's death every hour of his life since. As she listens, the world tilts underneath her. That couple was her and Jason. The man who died was her husband. And yet, watching the guilt bury Russell in real time, she cannot find the anger she thinks she is supposed to feel. She has seen what 7 years of self-punishment looks like, and she tells him quietly, "I forgive you," and asks only that he never drink and drive again. Russell breaks.
Don't see how they would.
God damn, I'm sorry.
Do not fucking say it again!
You think you can pay for that with a splash?
I already paid for it. Shit, I believe everything you say.
Then he tells her that if she wants a future for herself and her daughter, she has to get rid of the officer's gun. Later that afternoon, she drives out to the water and lets the weapon disappear beneath it. For a while, the days pass without incident, until Boyd shows up at Russell's door with something heavy on his face. A local officer has been found dead. A shelter manager has called the station about a mother and daughter she housed, a mother who was hiding a police-issue firearm. A witness has placed a familiar car near the shelter that same night. Boyd asks Russell if he knows anything about the woman, and Russell lies straight to his oldest friend's face. Boyd does not push, but Boyd is a good cop, and a good cop knows a lie when he hears one.
What you said last time.
I'm worried about you. It's just us, man. You gotta let him go, Larry.
Say that shit, dude.
Come on, man.
It's out of here! Make it away.
Days later, Boyd slips onto the property alone and lets himself into the guest house. Maben grabs Annalee and pulls her upstairs, holding her breath in the dark. Just as Boyd starts up the stairs, Mitchell's wife walks in and lays into him for searching her home without a warrant and without consent. Boyd backs down and leaves, but as he walks out, he knows they would not have panicked like that unless they had something to hide.
Have a nice day, deputy.
Later, Boyd finds Russell in private and asks him plainly what they are hiding, telling him there is still time to make this right. Russell holds the lie one more time and Boyd finally leaves out of patience. Russell runs back to Maben and tells her the truth. Boyd will be back. He will find her. She has to leave the state tonight, but he tells her that dragging Annalee across the country again is no life for a child, and that if she can bear it, she should leave the girl behind with them, where she is safe until the storm passes and Maben can come back for her. Maben cannot breathe for a moment. Then she nods.
We'll take good care of her, don't you?
I told her I'd never leave her, and here I go leaving her.
You're a good mama. Just do the best you can for right now. You're doing the right thing.
Meanwhile, Larry has stopped waiting for the world to give him justice. He has convinced himself that every wound in his life bears Russell's name, and so he breaks into Russell's house and hides in the shadows with a weapon in his hand, ready to end this the way he has dreamed of ending it for 7 years. When Maben and Russell walk through the door to pack her things, Larry lunges from the dark. In the chaos of the ambush, the blow meant for Russell finds Maben instead, and she goes down. Russell tackles Larry to the floor, and the two men tear at each other across the room until Larry gets his hands on the hunting rifle Mitchell gave his son. He raises it at Russell and starts to say the words he's been saving for years. But before he can finish, Mitchell steps into the doorway with a gun of his own and puts a bullet in him first. Mitchell lowers his weapon immediately. He tells Larry the shot only caught his shoulder and that an ambulance is already coming. But Larry is not listening anymore. He stumbles out to his car and drives.
Cody boy. Where's he?
You fucking bleeding?
Let me touch my son.
Stop! Where the fuck
Mitchell and Russell scoop Maben off the floor and race her toward the nearest hospital. On another stretch of road, Larry is driving too fast for the shape he is in, and somewhere in the dark, his car leaves the pavement. He does not walk away from it. At the hospital, Russell holds himself together long enough to get Maben admitted and watches the doors close behind the doctors. Then Boyd walks through the entrance. Someone has already tipped him off. Russell looks at his oldest friend and tells him he will tell him everything, but only if Boyd agrees to listen to him as a friend first and a police officer second. Boyd agrees. Russell tells him what the dead officer did to Maben under that overpass, and what he was about to let his friends do next. He tells him what she was defending, and then Russell says the words he has been building toward for 7 years. He tells Boyd he has been burning in his own private hell every day since the crash that took Maben's husband from her, and that if there has to be a body in a cell for what happened to that officer, it should be his. He hands Boyd a spent bullet from the fight in the house and tells him he can close the case with it. What is a childhood friendship worth when the law finally comes to collect? And what is a man supposed to do when the only way to save someone is to hand over his own name? Boyd stands there for a long time holding that bullet. Then he gets in his cruiser and drives out to the wreck of Larry's car. He knows Larry can no longer answer for anything, and he knows the file will need a name at the top of it. So he places that bullet inside the wreckage where the investigators will find it. When the report is finally written, the department closes the case on a dead man who cannot appeal, and every living person walks free. Time passes. Maben and Annalee do not leave the Gaines house. They settle into it, and then slowly, they become part of it. Russell sleeps through the night for the first time in 7 years, and the ghosts that once followed him home from prison stop showing up at his bedside. Some debts the law was never built to collect, and some families are not born but chosen out of the wreckage of everything else.